Alright, so big on Mirage. We're just gonna start with some basic rounds of the T side here against Northern Pro League to just get the feel for Big's approach and Tabsen's sort of wholesome role as an actual player. Um, so I just want to show you that this isn't really important, but they run an alright pistol and they win the pistol. So Big is gonna win the pistol, and then here Nora are gonna full eco and they're gonna go to stack B. So Big is going to keep it pretty simple and play by the numbers. They're going to send 4 guys towards mid with a bit of a delayed window smoke from Tizian. And I guess they do that both to avoid like a possible nade stack, but also just to get any info if there's a push or a peek here. And after that, they're just going to say, we have rifle, so let's just try it, pretty much. So here they just walk up. And the only thing that really has impact in the round is Muya here coming to re-smoke window for them. And then he and Santaris are just gonna walk up here in tandem. And like, just look at how much they're clearing together. Like around every corner, it could be 5 CTs waiting, so they're taking a pretty big risk. But in the end, Tabsen is gonna be so confident in what they have gained that he's just gonna sit down and plan for short. And obviously, Smuya has short, and Santaris is like close proximity with a Mac. But this is still somewhat of a risk, nonetheless. But he plans and pretty much get the confirmation that it's a B stack here. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, they just use their weaponry to play range. They got a long way for free, and they just said, like, there's no need for us to go further. So Santaris has only max, so he's gonna wanna hunt a bit. He's gonna go in kitchen. I think he actually peeks into 4 guys, but he plays it pretty well. Yeah, so he like peeks into 4 guys and then goes back on this angle and lets them sort of run into him. The only real thing is that he like overextends here and gets stinked. And I think that no matter where you are with 5 HP, you die here. So he's gonna die with the bomb, and I really like that decision. He just decides to not give away the Mac, the money they get for an kill, or like any of the util he had. So he just decides to die with the bomb and rifle up next round. Okay, so they lost the 4 following rounds, and Tabsen is just gonna go back to that simplistic, hyper-aggressive approach. So we're just gonna see them smoke top mid. Tabsen is gonna throw a normal con molly and normal flashes. And Santaris is actually gonna get pushed in ramp here. So right now Tabsen is gonna advance, and while this is probably just him thinking in a microsecond, I think there is actually a lot of thought process behind that. So if we just like delve super deep into that, we have to think as him that they didn't just lose the man advantage, they also lost ramp. And how did they lose ramp? One guy flashed in the other guy, which means that there were 2 guys focused towards there. And you can even delve deeper into that. Like as we see, they smoked the bottom con here, and he could probably figure out if the same guy who smoked bottom con could be the guy flashing. And also like who is who. Also, like even going deeper, I don't think he was able to hear Yugi's scope here, but if he guesses or knows that Yugi is opening con, he should know like that this ground is free for the taking, because obviously none of the guys who flashed were Yugi or the Rapper. So it could be like all of those things, or Tabsen just thinking it's a 4v5, I just gotta go fucking swing some noobs. And obviously there was presence towards A, so there should be some opening here, or some fight he can take. And that's just what happens. He catches Yugi leaving this angle. He's gonna anticipate the cat player, anticipates the trade, and after all that, he's even gonna run in to take the B site. So not much more to say, but he's gonna be smart as well. Like they need the info about the B player, so he's fast on taking the site, but not too fast, because his team needs to rotate as well. And when they get close, he's ready to give his life if it's needed. So he's just gonna run. And he's so fast, he even wraps around gate for his 4K. Smoothie has now won the Conrad, and just like that, Tabsen's a 4v5 using absolutely no util. And there's like not too much to analyze about Tabsen just being a star player, but I really just want to reiterate how he's still being the IGL, saves his team from dire scenarios, and puts himself in position to like single-handedly win these rounds. So if we're just gonna look at this round, they are gonna run a 2-1-2. And the B guys are just gonna get demolished by AZ's op here. So Tizian dies, and Smooth is gonna try to get this trade, and he's gonna die as well. And Tabsen is gonna take this into his own hand. Just gonna walk into the bottom con smoke here. Great predict on Yugi. And he just anticipates everything else, just hard clears for the guy being baited in. And here he's just so confident in his own ability, he's just gonna completely run up, knowing exactly where Cage and the next player on A is gonna pop up. He just runs, staring at him. And here he overextends a bit, he like dies, just trying to cross window here. They're gonna go into this like super drawn out fake because the bomb is another part of the map. So next is gonna take A site and like super delayed. Waste, sorry, like throw his util here as a fake. And they like buy it, but they sort of don't. Like AZ still on short here, holding the cross. And Santaris is gonna take B, so he's gonna drop, kills AZ, and then it's just a 2 versus 1. They're gonna close out. Yeah, so like I said, these rounds are just not anything more than Tabsen just being Tabsen, but he still has that ability, and it's definitely a big win factor for Big's T side. So just remaining on the T side, we're going to take a look at the more tactical side of things. Obviously, I can't attest to how much credit Tabsen specifically should receive here. If this is actually Taubi doing a lot of the work, or if he has an X or somebody support calling. But that aside, Big's composure and tactical competence is praiseworthy, so I'm just going to analyze a bit of that. So pistol against face here, and we're just going to see the bare definition of remaining composed. So they triple palace with Nex and Smuya making their way out mid, which obviously is the biggest risk, but CTs usually don't heavy commit mid fights on pistols, so it's a pretty good gamble. And as they make their way up con, they're gonna take this palace peak angle. Santaris even jiggles a bit to focus attention towards them. Just taking a few shots here. And then the flash is gonna come out, and then the instant crunch is on. And you're gonna notice they let the jungle guys take initial contact, so this triple palace is still a surprise if anybody's on site. Anyways, they get down, Tizian's gonna smoke CT to ensure the plant. We're gonna get our jungle plant down. So right now it's 5 versus 5, and they're gonna play perfect in the after plant. They go double ramp, with Santaris being a bit more aggressive, like playing NAF with the P250, double jungle, also being able to bait off each other, and Tabsen default here can pretty much do anything. Like he can jiggle or swing anything depending on if they lose people or like lose con here, so he can just fight anywhere. Anyway, so you're gonna notice they don't really get pressured from anywhere, so Tizian's gonna come and check out T-spawn here. So he comes and he checks out T-spawn, and they probably figure out like this is gonna be a CT focus retake. And even if you are well set up, you would rather not take a full like CT swarm or CT pop. So even with all this info, Smoothie is gonna decide it's risk-free at this time to flank, and he's just gonna walk through murder hole and get them a 5 versus 4. And now the retake is pretty much just all over the place. They go back to like try to fight Smuya. They haven't even smoked the bomb, they just smoked cross. And I think they killed Tabsen and one of the jungle guys, but this ramp setup is gonna be too much. And Tizian's just gonna kill everybody. So this run is just really nice CS, a simple but still a well thought out pistol, leading to securing the plant and playing the odds in the after plant. And when they realize what might come, they just take their risk for the info, and then they use that info to make sure that the CT retake is a clusterfuck. Masterfully played. So for last T round, we're gonna take a look at a bit of a mix between Tabsen taking the initiative with setting himself up and the strat side of things. So the beginning is pretty much gonna be the same, with Tabsen taking huge liberties in mid. Obviously they get a top mid smoke, and he's just gonna take it for free with a flash and jumping on the boxes here. So we see that the remainder are in B ups here, setting up for a fake. They're gonna go for a 1 smoke exec with Smuya smoking deep short from here. And I don't know how Tabsen gets the balls for this, because he doesn't even do it on a delayed timing or anything. He's just gonna use his util here to cross, and then he's like already flanking at the start of the exec. So just smoke here and molly. And then like as this deep short smoke is landing, he's gonna be through it. And if we look from Config's POV, he's gonna kill the first guy. And then there's just a wild Tabsen running through and headshotting him short. And then we have Tessus left here, and he's in a really bad spot if short is compromised as well, so he's gonna elect to fight. But that's also an easy kill for Tabsen, just scoping him with the Krieg. And that's pretty much the round. He's gonna decide to take the angle short here. For NEC, he's trying to get into the retake, but mostly for them like trying to play exits or save. And I think he just catches Nico out on a stroll here. Yep. I think Tabsen also dies getting peeked by Quest in window eventually. Yeah. But this is just a good way to cap off how their T side works. Like I said in the beginning, they really absolutely have to get their stars to win them the rounds. And as long as Tabsen has the read to do these kind of plays and call the stuff that he is calling, there's no real formula for stopping it. Except for winning an aim fight against him, obviously. Okay, so over to the CT side. Not really much introduction to give. I'm just gonna look at Big doing big things pretty much. Starting at 7-13 here against FaZe. They just lost the opening 5 rounds of their CD side, and it's with this round they're gonna start mounting the comeback to win 16-14. So Big are gonna set up in a pick-based way, which is super hard to do on Ecos or even on Quasis, but they're gonna play it really well. So they get a top mid smoke from Tabsen, and Tizian and Smooya are gonna HE top mid and go under. And the risk here is obviously that the T is just full wide mid, that you're either gonna get caught going under or that they don't buy the bait. But that's pretty much what the nades are for. Like they both stop that wide peak and it also says, hey, we're pushing here. And when they get under, they hear like 2 or 3 guys, I think it's 2 guys, like spamming the smoke, which more or less confirms that FaZe gave it. So we're gonna look at this B play obviously, but I just wanna show how they set up on A. They have Tabsen behind triple here with a flash and Santar's shadow. Well, he just walked up the ladder, but still. Just simple, really making the most out of their positions, their guns, and just having that one piece of util he can throw, and Santaris can fight really well off. Anyways, so the B guys, they walk under, obviously, just playing contact together, and they're gonna do something super fucking cool when they reach here and like clear this angle. So next is gonna throw a deep nade, and he does that just for info. Like obviously if anybody's here in that doorway or whatever, they're gonna try to dodge the nade. And that would obviously make noise or they would peek into these guys. And obviously if there's a guy like App's Kitchen here, he's not gonna get affected by that nade. But this just ensures that there's nobody like full holding their walk up here. And actually for the rest of the round there isn't really that much to say. Smooya is gonna hard clear Apps, but they are still not going to be fully convinced that FaZe are going to end up A, so they're going to stay 2 around snacks here. And it has to be really, really hard to know what Big are thinking here, because they're even going to flash in Santar's ramp here, and he's going to see jack shit. So it's all pretty much a gamble after that. So they flash him in, he doesn't see anything here, and they're just going to commit to playing pretty much the same setup with next being the rotator. But after all this time, they're gonna get pretty lucky because Santaris jumps up Balk and he catches the timing on Brocky here and he creates the pick. And after that, it's pretty comical. Smooya is just gonna run under and he's gonna eat a headshot from the mid guys. We're gonna run up short after. Nobody comes apps early, so Tizian can't really kill anybody early at least to waste time. And the way they end up winning is just gonna be Santaris taking the fights with an AK. And Tizian like peeking off that bait, and that's pretty much it. Kills the first guy. Tizian actually takes contact Africa here, but it doesn't die, and this just allows Santaris to fight with his AK, and the last 2 are just gonna be Tizian's for the taking pretty much. So great initial idea, and I guess the execution was alright as well. But sometimes that's all you need. You just need a guy hitting the right peak timings to be the win factor. So here we have another round I really like that I think sums up Big's approach really well. And even though their actual defense in this round is good, it's the actual attitude or like approach I should say that's interesting. So just to start off, nothing really special. Tabsen is gonna fuck up a mid smoke here. Santaris is gonna go and nade mid, etc, etc. So FaZe are gonna try to run out ramp on this timing where you shouldn't really expect it. And Tizian is gonna smoke on himself like this. And then his teammates are just instantly gonna be on the case. They're just flashing, mauling, just throwing util. Santaris even coming through the smoke bench here to fight. But the interesting thing is, if we look at another part of the map, is that they aren't really buying it. Like, look at Tabsen. He even goes to rotate kitchen, but then he goes back. So they have two B sides, and now Smui and Santaris are even starting to worry about their flanks. And I think that is just because if you're big, you're pretty much thinking like, why aren't we dying? Like, look how long Tizian is alive here. He's alive so fucking long. And it isn't until Smuya dies that he eventually goes down and they know they really need to rotate. So even now, Nex is gonna hold out for a lurk here, and like at long last, when Tabsen takes contact from two guys on site, he's gonna start rotating. So now look at this. You have a Nex coming short, you have Santaris top con, and Brookie is flanking mid right, and he's thinking, we just showed presence ramp for a whole minute, right? I'm about to kill everybody in the fucking back. So he walks up, he takes contact short, and gets fucking swung by Santaris con. And now Big are even so fucking smart, like they're not even fully buying this, because if you're Big, you're thinking, FaZe, you have all info about where we are. You obviously have low util, so why aren't you like full on committing to take this site? So they think like surely this is a fake or there has to be a lurk. And except for Santaris, they don't really care that much about the site itself. So they're gonna go and clear out mid together. They take a few passive angles and eventually they're gonna be on for the retake, and it's really good because they have a very centered retake from the same angles. And FaZe are not gonna end up in the best way in terms of position and HP. So they're just gonna try to swing big, but obviously 3 guys with low HP swinging into 3 guys holding with full HP is not really gonna work out. So they pretty much just clean up. Yeah, and this whole round is just like a cat and mouse mini game of who's gonna drop the ball first. Like you even saw the clusterfuck of me trying to like explain over it from the notes I have. It's just like really hard. But I remember watching this demo myself and I was thinking like, holy shit, Big really don't want to fuck this up. They really want to win this game. But yeah, I think this round perfectly summarizes the rounds we've seen. Like usually a good thought process or setup, and even if it works out initially, they are prone to fuck something up. And to win from that stage, they need their raw aim ability, their tactical ability, or both.